Hello students, welcome to this lesson. In this lesson, we're going to study insight learning. Insight learning is a way of finding solutions to problems that are not based on actual experience or physical trial and error, but the trials and errors occur mentally. That means insight learning is a cognitive form of learning involving the mental rearrangement or restructuring of the elements in a problem to achieve a sudden understanding of the problem and arrive at a solution. In insight learning, often the solution is learned suddenly. That is, when a person has been trying to solve a problem for a period of time and suddenly the solution appears in his mind almost out of nowhere, what we call eureka moment. Eureka moment is a moment of sudden, triumphant discovery, inspiration, or insight. In the 1920s, German psychologist Wolfgang Kohler was studying the behavior of apes. He designed some simple experiments that led to the development of one of the first cognitive theories of learning, which he called insight learning, which means much of the pioneering research on insight learning was carried out by this great scientist that he worked with chimpanzees. For the experiment, the chimpanzees were placed in an enclosed area. Kohler placed desirable lures such as fruits outside the enclosure and out of their reach. He placed a variety of objects that could be used to obtain the lures inside the enclosure. The chimpanzees had to work out a way of using one or more of that objects to obtain the lures or the food that placed out of their reach. The chimpanzees were more successful in this action or experiment than that Kohler had anticipated. In experiment 1, Kohler placed chimpanzees with 4 boxes and bananas in an enclosed area or class. The boxes were randomly placed on the floor. The bananas were hung down on the top of the enclosure or ceiling. Then the chimpanzees sat down and watched the enclosure with regard to how to access or get the bananas that were placed out of their reach. After they thought over, the chimpanzees suddenly realized or learned to use boxes to obtain bananas placed on the top of the enclosure. They dragged and piled box on box to erect the structures with a height of 4 boxes. Then they climbed on the piled boxes and got the fruits or bananas. In experiment 2, one chimpanzee sultan was placed in a cage with 2 hollow bamboo sticks. One is thick and the other is thin. Some of the chimpanzees, like Sultan, learned how to make or modify suitable tools from the materials they were given. This chimpanzee Sultan was particularly gifted in this task. Sultan was given the problem of obtaining a banana far out of his reach. There were 2 hollow bamboo sticks in his cage, but neither of the two was long enough to rake in or access the lure or banana. After many attempts to reach the banana with one stick or the other, he sat down and looked at the sticks carefully. Suddenly, Sultan hit upon the solution. He pushed the thinner of the 2 sticks into the hollow inside of the thicker one and he then drew the banana towards himself. That means he now reached at the banana by the length of two sticks. Eureka! Which means he really satisfied by his action or sudden discovery of the solution for the problem.